Baribeau.
Baribeau. Rachel Baribeau. Come on in. Oh, you look so beautiful. Yes, yes. Rachel Baribeau,
Yes, my last name is not spelled the way it's pronounced, so it's barbecue, barely boobs. I've gotten it all growing up, and it's Baribeau. So I want to tell you guys a little story about my mother. My mother and I were not best friends. I don't know if anybody in this room can relate to that, but it was complicated. How about that? And what maybe also further complicated that was the fact that I was soulmates with my grandmother. I was born literally 3 days apart from my grandmother. We could finish each other's sentences. We were two peas in a pod. Nobody in our family was upset or jealous that I was my grandmother Ophelia's favorite because we were just soulmates. And then 7 years ago, my grandmother passed. And the weirdest, strangest, most beautiful thing happened in grief, in destruction, in sadness. My grandmother from heaven gave my mom and I the most beautiful gift. And she gave us the gift of being soulmates and the gift of being best friends. And so for the last 7 years, my mom and I became the two that completed each other's sentences. We became the two that had weird nicknames for each other, like Booty and Tootie. I'm kidding you not. We became the two that I remember recently, I looked at her and I was like, Mom, we smell like each other. Our natural smell is like each other. This is crazy. I used to go on Facebook and go to comment on somebody's page, and she had already commented exactly what I was going to comment, and I'm like, what the hey, I'm like, and it was beautiful and amazing. And 10 months ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, stage 4 breast cancer. And let me tell you something, my mother decided to live. My mother, in the 10 months since last July, went to Maine. She went to the Dominican Republic to see her grandkids. We went to Jackson Hole. We went to Amelia Island. She lived. My mother would tell me in the middle of the night with stage 4 cancer that had spread to her liver and her bones and her brain, that instead of in the middle of the night asking for prayer for her own pain, she would stay up in the middle of the night and pray for other people.
Yeah.
She was the first person to encourage you. If you were going through something in life, she would encourage you. And I turned my life upside down to be with my mother and to encourage my mother. And as a matter of fact, I happened to find this today. This was from our Maine trip. This is her writing, mother-daughter trip, memories, precious, great clam chowder in Bar Harbor on the coast, eating wild apples by the road, seeing a buddy cat, that's my dog, really a bobcat on the road, Flanders Pond, waking up at sunrise to photograph the sunrise on the pond. My mother's words. I lost my mother 19 days ago. The one thing that I learned as I held her as she departed this earth, I learned the most beautiful lesson, and that was, don't look away. Yeah. And I think Molly said it just a couple of presentations ago, a couple of sharing moments ago. We in life need people not to look away from us. In the hardest of times, I could have said, this is too much. I cannot watch my mother depart this earth. But instead, I held her. I sang songs. I played her favorite music from Beaches, Wind Beneath My Wings. I snuggled her. Oh, yes. Baby of mine. All of it. I snuggled her. And before she passed, I told her, Mommy, it's okay. It's okay to let go. It's okay to go ahead. You were the best mommy. And even though it was complicated, through the worst loss of my entire life, what I thought my grandmother, I got this most beautiful gift, these 7 years of friendship with my mother, my best friend, my booty tootie. And so what I think she would want you to know tonight, and what I want you to know, that this took incredible courage to get up here, is she would want you to know not to look away from people. In their hardest times, when they are the ugliest, when they are the most difficult, when life is the hardest. Because let me tell you something, it's easy to celebrate and take the trip to Bar Harbor and eat apples on the side of the road. It's easy to eat clam chowder and watch whales. It's not easy to hold your mother as she departs this earth. So what I would leave you with tonight, as I endure incredible sadness and heartache, but also celebration that I got to spend 7 years with the love of my life, with my best friend. I would think my Gigi, my booty tootie, would want you to know that whether it's a stranger on the street, whether it's somebody in your life that has never asked you for forgiveness, but you know it's there and you're harboring it and you're holding on to it, they need you to look at them through the hard times. They need you not to look away. So I think there's some phone calls that maybe need to happen after this. I don't know. I think that's what Gigi and Booty Tootie would want you to know. I'm Booty and she's Tootie. It's both of us. Or maybe it's just somebody at the grocery store that needs to hear they're beautiful and they're fantastic. Thank you guys so much.